Hey yo, what's up guys? And it's your boy Master Demo Senpai, and today we'll be having our Naraka Bladepoint tier list as promised. And yeah, let's get it over with. We'll be starting from the weakest to the strongest. And just heads up, I will not be explaining each and every single detail, so you keep that in mind. I'll just basically summarize everything because it's a lot of characters. I can't really put everything in one go. So yeah. Sets up. Okay, anyways, we'll be starting with Tianhai. So Tianhai will be in D tier. First and foremost, starting with his F. His F is actually okay. It's a pretty okay reset. But I guess compared to the other characters, the meta right now is sort of sustain, heals, etc. Although his F isn't that bad, it's okay. What makes him really bad and what puts him in this tier is because of his ultimate. Unfortunately, his ultimate just turns you into big, massive hitbox where you can't really do anything. You're really slow. You can't really hit anything either. So you're basically in a useless form, whereas you're just dying. You do get your HP back when you deform, but yeah, it's still a problem. You don't have enough frames to actually have a good reset after going down to your human form, and you just get punished really hard. Worst character in the game as of now. He's a really cool character though. Like, I love him, but like, yeah, guys, unfortunately, he's just not meta. And moving on to Yue Shan. So Yue Shan, I argued putting him in C, but honestly, he's just as bad as Tianhai. Okay, his F is okay. It's a good reset. Doesn't give him any sustain, but kind of a similar problem with Tianhai. His ultimate transforms into a big unit. Not as big as Tianhai though. Like you are more mobile, and people can't really fight you straight on because they will just lose. But the problem is, the reset doesn't really help you a lot. First of all, people can just run away from you. You can't really chase people grappling. People just go on rooftops. You just grapple on top of you. You can't really do shit. You have you basically have nothing to chase people just jumping over you when you're in this ult form. So it's a big problem. Similar to Shanghai. People just wait for your ultimate, just get punished, and you just die. Yeah, it's just really not good. So I'm putting him next to Shanghai. He's not as bad as Shanghai, but he's next to him. So another D tier character, in my opinion. Moving on to Kurumi. Kurumi will be at C tier. Her F, basically, you can TP around and like maybe outplay people. It does not help you in any way in resetting though. You have to be out. You have to wait for the opponent to finish comboing you, or like, yeah, you have to make sure you use your tap dodge correctly or your own movement. You have no F basically. But you can outplay people with it if you're not getting pressured. Although, yeah, that's just not a good F. It's your F should be functioning. It should be something that can help you reset, and that's what most characters have for solo. And she just doesn't have that, and that's really bad. Moving on to her ultimate. So her ultimate is actually not bad. It gives her heals depending on what ultimate you're using. And some of her ultimates also give her like a circle aura or something that gives her either shield or HP, which is also pretty decent for reset. You can fight in this circle, and you can be winning neutral by just using this, so people will usually not fight you in the circle and will just run away and wait for you to, you know, heal, and they're just gonna heal afterwards. So it's just a complete reset most of the time. Not bad, but yeah, it leaves you in a position where you just have to stay in one spot. Everybody knows where you are, and most people are just gonna wait for your ult to be done, and people are just gonna most likely third party you because they know you don't have ult, and you can't really run away as Kurumi. Like, as I said, her F is really non-existent. You cannot use it in fights when getting staggered, so it's really bad. That's why even if her ultimate is okay, her F is just too bad, and her ultimate is just not good enough, and that's why she is going to be in C tier. Moving on to Mulch. So Kimoch is gonna be C tier. I won't be putting in B tier because of the fact that although his F can save you and you can use it while getting staggered, it only saves you for like one attack, and after that you are still people are still will be able to punish you. Like once you press your F, you basically jump off uh and fly a bit, and people can still do uppercuts or just grapple you, and you know you're gonna get staggered, you know, fall down, and it's gonna be a wake up situation. Either that or you get uppercutted and into a focus attack, which is really gonna hurt. That's why it's not a really good F for solo. It could be okay for duo shifts, but not for solo. It's just not good. It doesn't really help you that much. Hence he's gonna be C tier for that. Also his ultimate, I guess. Ultimate gives you space, it gives you reset, but similar to Kurumi ult, actually weaker than Kurumi ult. The only reason why I put him a bit higher than Kurumi because F is a bit functional, but that's about it. Ultimate gives you space, it summons like a circle around you, like a sandstorm. You can go in, go out of it. Enemy cannot go out or they get like punished hard. So you can get a reset here, but that's about it. It doesn't really help you on running away. People still know where you are, they can just chase you. It's just a heal reset and you're just gonna fight again, and if you don't have a functioning F, you're still losing the fight. Like he still doesn't have that F that you need to fight. Other characters are way better than him. So yeah, he's gonna be in C tier. Not good F and not good ultimate basically, so just not enough. So he's gonna be in C tier for that. Alright, Viper. Viper is gonna be B tier, like at the lower end of B. She's an okay character. She can handle 1v1s. The problem is, starting with her F, is that it's only for aggression. You have no means of resetting. You only use your F to do combos, silence, get priority. And her F is easily punished by just holding focus attacks, and you won't get staggered if you get hit by a Viper F, but it will silence you, which is good. But because of her kit, okay, let's move on to her ultimate, right? Usually people will silence you and maybe use their ult to get some pressure on you, but it doesn't really necessarily give you high advantage. It doesn't give you high priority. It gives you an okay priority. And that's because her ultimate just gives you silence, will make them unable to grapple depending on what ultimate you choose. Usually people go for V3. You can go for V1, which is a stun, but the problem is you cannot run in this state and people just easily run away from it, so people usually use V3 for pressure. And you do get a mini stagger with their ultimate. Once your ultimate ends, you can get like a cheeky focus attack, but it's still not enough. If people win you in the pressure, if they just get a slight lead, they can easily kite you or just run away or like just win you in fights. A really mechanical heavy character, a really aggressive character. You have no means of saving yourself from third party. That's why she's only B tier, but you can handle fights, but that's about it. That's why she's not A or S tier. She just, aside from that, like, yeah, it's a BR game. It's, you know, you have to have your survivability, pure aggression. That's Viper. Moving on to Valdeque. Okay, Valdeque is gonna be next to Viper. She is, in my opinion, better than Viper because of the fact that her ultimate does give you burst. Let's start with her ultimate. You press her ultimate, she summons a big wave with a big AoE. It's pretty easy to hit, and if you hit people in kill range, you can kill them, deals a decent amount of damage. But it's also depending on what weapon you're using, what rarity. The higher the rarity, the more damage you do. So it's a pretty good burst ultimate, pretty good damage, pretty good ender. Okay, moving on to her F. You can either use F1 or F3, but usually people use F1 for aggression because it gives you a lot of damage if you're able to hit it. It has pretty good tracking. Basically, it summons a bubble, and if you hit somebody, they will get like they will be stuck in a bubble for like a long time. Like, I'm not so sure how long. It's like 2 to 4 seconds. Anyways, it's enough for you to either double charge or do a combo and do a lot of damage. And it has a really small cooldown, which really helps a lot in fights, and you can really get people off guard. but it's a high risk, high reward thing. Her F1 can be easily punished if people know what you're about to do. That they can just pressure you with your light attacks, and you'd never be able to use it unless you're just running and kiting. So yeah, it's a high risk, high reward F. Similar to Viper's playstyle, she is an aggressive character. Unless you use F3, F3 can give you a good amount of reset and decent neutral. Although you'll be sacrificing your aggressive potential, you can just win your fights mostly on sword fights, and you can end them with your ultimate. But her F is still not enough in a beer game to reset. Like basically, her F3 gives her like a backdash and summons 3 bubbles. People can get stuck in the bubbles, and you can get like cheeky light attacks or like good fire from them. But the problem is, after using this, people can just run away. Kite Q as well. Like it does give good neutral, but it's just not enough. In beer games, if you get third party, use your F, you're basically much a goner, and her ultimate doesn't really provide anything aside from dealing damage. So yeah, another B tier character. You guys are gonna notice most aggressive characters are gonna be on B tier because of the fact that in BR games, it just really matters a lot to have a balanced playstyle slash kit that will make you be able to reset into third parties, and yeah, most of them just run away and have a good reset, and aside from that, being able to finish your fights. So yeah, gonna be B tier with Viper, just slightly better than Viper. Next character will be Takeda, another aggressive character, and yeah, you guys know why he's in B. Same problem. These characters purely aggressive. You have no means of resetting, just your own movement, so it's really hard to reset on third parties. Starting with this F. This F is really good for fights. Actually, I think he's probably the best character for 1v1. He can pretty much beat everybody 1v1 if played correctly. And people usually do not want to fight him because of how his F and B is. The F basically gives him the power to disarm you, at the same time deal damage, like a good chunk of a bar of damage, and gives you a good amount of sustained heals as well. It's pretty good, and aside from disarming them, you do take the weapon as well. So it's a pretty good F, although yeah, same problem with Viper's F. It's purely aggression. You cannot use this while get comboed or like, you know, under attack, but you can use this as a huge tool to win your fights more, which is really good. And moving on to his ultimate. Ultimate gives summons a demon behind them, and basically it gives you 3 charges of being able to summon this demon, and you can get a good stagger into focus attacks, confirm focus attacks, so you can 1, 2, 3 into an F and deals a lot of damage. Or if you get a cheeky light attack into uppercut, you deal an insane amount of damage. Hence why he's really strong for 1v1 scenarios. But yeah, I would put him like this is basically a B+ character, but yeah, he has just a really, you know, big problem in a BR game where you cannot, it's not easy to reset. Getting third party, you really have to fight that and just try to win it. If you can't win it, you just die. But yeah, heavily mechanically oriented, this character. So yeah, that's about it for Takeda. A really great character for 1v1, but yeah, just not enough for resetting. Moving on to Matari. Okay, Matari, I would place her in A, but because of the new character that we'll be talking about, basically the new character makes Matari look weak and just weaker in the meta overall, so I'll be placing her in B tier as well. Matari, basically her F is able to make you teleport in short distance. You can either have 2 charges of this or have a recall depending on what you want. It's good for reset, although you cannot use it while under attack, so you are prone to getting comboed and getting killed before you can even use your F. So yeah, people usually use your F when they're about to die and get some reset. It's not bad. Her ultimate gives you invisibility, and they buffed her. Now you can use F on your opponents, and you will do a short like back attack or something that will give you prio and give you a bit of heals. Whenever you attack the enemy, you will get heals as well. It's not bad, but the problem is for most of these characters, it doesn't really help much because you'll most likely see only B plus characters in your games, your BAS characters on your games. So compared to these characters, your ultimate, you cannot use it at the start. You cannot really use it to fight. You still just use it to run away. But you can use it to punish people with no ultimates. But the problem is you have to bait their ultimates. You have to go so far to, make them use your ultimates, which you can lose prio because you can't use their ultimates. You can't use your ultimate to counter ultimate at the exact same time. You can use it after they're using their ultimates. So usually, for example, if you're Yodo, you use your ultimate as a Yodo. If you manage to survive it as a Matari with good amount of HP, you can use your ultimate back and fight back. But the problem is, yeah, you surviving that scenario. Either you using your ultimate to run away or just do nothing at all. Basically, her ultimate is good, but it's just not good enough compared to these characters, and that's why I would say she became weaker than last season. Also because of the new character, that's why she will be in B tier. But overall, good reset character. She's not bad. She is playable, but you wouldn't want to use her compared to the other characters that we'll be reviewing after this. Anyways, moving on to Tarkaji. Tarkaji will be in A tier. He's been a solid character throughout the seasons. He hasn't changed much. Good character. Depending on how good you are, you can make him work. He has a really good ultimate, which gives you basically it's a transformation ultimate that gives you a buff. You'll be on fire and you will be able to cancel through attack animations way faster than others. And aside from that, you are given infant combo, the only original infant combo in the game, primarily used when using a katana. So you get your elbow out, which hits your prio, and people usually don't want to contest you. You're super fast, and people just lose if they're fighting you 1v1 raw without using counter ults. So you just win when you're on his ult, and the only thing you can do as the opponent is to run away and wait for his ultimate to be gone. Right, and if you get hit by this elbow, you do get infinited, so it's really good pressure. And yeah, that's his ultimate basically. Going on to his F, you could either use a fireball or a parry stance. So start with the parry stance, F1. So F1 basically gives you a parry stance, so when people hit you on this parry animation, you are able to retaliate by using an elbow, which if it hits them, it applies burn damage, deals a good amount of damage, and you can do a true combo with weapons, which deals a lot of damage as well, combined with the burn damage. So really good F for survivability, for neutral, for fights. Yeah. So he has both an F and a good ultimate, and he's a really good character, although it's not enough for him to be S tier at the moment. The reason is because the characters we will be reviewing after him will be basically will be overshadowing him. Like these characters are just so good right now, and you would most likely want to pick them higher than him, so that's why he cannot be S tier. Most of these characters up in the S tier counter him, and you'll be seeing these characters most of the time. So Tarka cannot be S tier as of now. But overall, he is a good character still, and you can make him work depending on how good you are mechanically. He is a mechanical hero. Most of his F, his ultimate are relying on combos, and you yourself as a mechanical player. So good character overall, A tier. Moving on to Wu Chen. Surprisingly, Wu Chen this season has gotten really weak. because of the new character as well. One of the characters that's been affected by the new character, aside from Atari, is Wu Chen. Used to be S tier in the past seasons, but he will be dropping to A tier. And reason is because you would rather use a new character than Wu Chen, and we will be talking about it later. But yeah, run down to his skills. His F, basically, you can choose F3, which gives you a backdash and gives you heals. Although it is really punishable. It can now that we're so far out of the seasons, everybody's used him. You can easily punish him just by going into his F. And what I mean by that, whenever you use your heals, you are stuck in animation. You are in blue focus, so people cannot stagger you. But once you backdash and start using your F, you can be jumping and using your F to get that height, so people can't reach you. But people can still time the grapple and get you off height, and you'll be dropping down, and they will have priority, and they can punish you really badly as a Wu Chen. So you might have to be more patient with F3. It's not like before when you can easily use it because people don't know how to fight it as much, but now it's really easily punishable. But if you can manage to pull it off, it is still a good F with patience and you know, mastery of character. You can also use F1, which I've been seeing more frequently in China servers, wherein they use F1 for aggression, and you can get a easy combos with F1. Aside from that, it deals okay amount of damage. It tracks you. Basically, you summon blades into your opponents, and you can either clash with them into your combo, or you just spam it for the damage. Either way, okay Fs. Definitely is still a usable character. And moving on to his ultimate. Basically, his ultimate most people use right now is V3. We'll be starting with his V3. You summon a portal, and this portal, wherever you summon it, will be in a long distance, and you can teleport through your portals. Your enemies can't follow you in this state, so you can have a good reset. You can just keep switching on these portals to get prio, to get heals, so people cannot chase you. But the problem is people can still shoot your feet if you're not behind the portal like correctly. People can still punish you, and you can still be killed if you're really low HP. And when third party people come, if they know you're low HP, they will most likely focus you, and both people you're fighting will be guarding both the portals. So basically, you're just gonna die if that happens. So he's gotten weaker throughout the seasons. Pretty sad. He used to be my main as well, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, sorry, I forgot about his V1. So sorry, was it V1? No, V2. Sorry, V2 basically gives you it's gonna make you be able to switch around your opponent. So if you put on the ground, aim it on the ground next to an opponent you're fighting, you can get a true combo. But the problem is with this ultimate, right? The problem with this ultimate is that it is easily outplayable by just pressing F. For example, if you're a Tarka, once you get ulted by Wu Chen, if you just save your F as a Tarka, you can just nullify his ultimate, and he won't be able to get the damage he needs. He won't be able to get the combo he needs, because you can just use your F to cancel out his light attack. Usually Wu Chen's with V2, we wanna after hitting their V2 would do a light attack, LMB, uppercut, combo, do big damage, because it also gives you a debuff where he can deal more damage to you. But the problem is, yeah, if they save their Fs correctly, it can easily be negated just like that. And that's one of the problems with ultimate, is V2. It's easily outplayable, just too weak, so people right now use V3 more often than this V2. Although this V2 can teleport you as well, but still, considering how the Tyrion is made, it's really hard to pull it off. Sometimes you can't even TP as far, and even if you do, people do still chase you, and yeah, you still lose if you're not up for the 1v1s, you know. And yeah, Wu Chen is a character, but yeah, he's gotten weak. moving on to Yodo. One of our first SU characters. He's gonna be top 3 character for me as of this season. Actually, I do main this character as well, but because of Zippin Yin, the new character, I have been maining her the past few weeks because of how good she is, but we'll talk about that later. So basically, Yorihime, one of my mains as well. Really great F. Starting with her F, it summons a circular blade that keeps spinning around you, and you can use this when you're under attack, so people can combo you. And aside from that, it stays really long, so you're able to get some heals in, like 1 or 2 heals depending on how fast you are. And aside from that, you can get prio in fights as well, because this does stagger enemies. It deals a bit of damage, but you know, that damage doesn't really matter as much, but it does still help you. And the stagger is pretty good. You can get people off guard by pressing F. Sometimes you get prio if they don't have their F, and you can get true combos out of it, or like a short 1, 2, 3. And it's just a really great F. It has everything. You have insane reset capabilities just by having your F. People cannot shoot you. People can grapple into you, but if you simply crouch and spam crouch, you won't be able to get hit, or like be able to like get hit out of it. So it's a really great F overall. Moving on to her V. Her V basically makes her summon a massive sword where you have 3 charges where you can slam it into the ground and you can deal a lot of damage wherever you're pointing it. Okay, this ultimate is it's not that hard to dodge. People usually easily dodge this, but as a mechanical player, you can use this really well to either get reset or good damage if you're able to read your opponent well. So using her V is gonna that's gonna matter depending on how good you are as a player. So that's gonna be on you. Whether you're good with reads or not, then that's gonna define if you're gonna hit those or not. And at the end of 3 charges, you do get a super easy 1, 2, 3 slash, which is also deals a lot of damage. Honestly, just hitting either 1 or 2 of this will already give you a good prio back, and aside from that, it does give you slight heals. But yeah, that's Yorihime, really great character. Also, I forgot to mention she is also a beast in late game in tournaments, and yeah, that's why she is one of the best characters right now. But yeah, that's Yodo, still a great character. I will still definitely use her for tournaments, unless she gets nerfed or something, but I doubt. But yeah, after Yorihime will be Justina. Justina has been consistent throughout the seasons. Great character. For F, you can either choose F1, which gives you sustain. You'll be in a frozen state. People cannot do anything to you. But the first second of pressing your F1, you are still vulnerable for damage, but it is damage reduced. So just be careful if you're 1 HP and you don't want to use it when you're that hit, because people can just hit you once and you're dead. But overall, use your F1, gives you good sustain. But I guess one of the problem is for their F1 is it's too easily predictable. But if you do know how to use your rooftops, your movement, and in places where people cannot predict you as easily because of terrain, you can abuse your F1 and you can get some decent builds with it. But I would mostly recommend people to use F2 for her, because her F2 basically makes it so that you can use it while you're under attack. And that's one of the biggest differences. Her F1 cannot be used while under attack, while her F2 can. And her F1 has really straightforward 50-50 is her F1, because you know you can't use it immediately, so it's pretty obvious where you're gonna go if you just know how to punish F1. F2 on the other hand, you can use it anytime really quickly, and you have better 50-50 in tap dodging, because it's harder to predict if you can use it anytime, so you can negate damage at the same time. You would like to use it much earlier than F1. If if you get hit by a first Geas hit, you can negate like most of its damage by pressing your F2, and it's just a really good F overall. Good reset, good neutral, and if played correctly, you can dominate with that. And moving on to her ultimate, actually. Really insane ultimate. Actually, I would say she's one of the few who can really shut down the new character. So basically, her V1 gives her 3 dashes, like really long dashes, wherein if you hit somebody V1, they can get frozen if they're not inputting a focus attack. But if they're inputting a focus attack, you can get a stagger. The stagger is still able to give you a combo if you use it correctly. It is not easy. It's not easy in fights. Depending on how fast your reaction time is, and depending on how clean your dash mechanic is, that's gonna define how well you're gonna hit these normal attacks or freezes. So basically, you get a stagger, but if you miss a bit of a distance, it won't be a true combo anymore. You won't be able to land a light attack if you do miss that distance. So usually players would want to play more patiently with their F, try to see if you can get a punish or a combo, but just by using this F gives you prio. So pretty good F overall. You can run, you can run with it, you can fight with it. It's just a really good V. Aside her F, like her F having like a reset for you, her V also gives you reset. Aside from that, it gives you fighting power, aggression. Just a really good ultimate. You can just do everything. You can fight, you can run. Really good character. And you can also use her V2, which is also a good option, but you only have 2 charges, so you have lesser options. But in fights, you'll be able to finish more quickly because her V2 makes it so that whatever you're doing, if you hit the freeze, you will get the freeze. And you can deal insane amount of damage from double charge. It's pretty good. So yeah, that's about it for Justina. Great character, really well balanced character. Has good reset and has aggression, and that's what you're gonna notice in S tier. That's what most characters have. Like, you know, Yodo has good reset, insane, one of the best Fs in the game actually, and decent ultimate. But you just need more mechanics, more skills to make it work out. But still a great character, right? You notice like these characters just have like mostly everything, reset and aggression. But so this is gonna be a really interesting thing, right, for you guys to know. And this was a really, I'm talking about this new character, right, that I'm currently maining right now, because she has zero aggression. Right now she's the only character for now, as of this moment, I'll be putting in S here as 0 aggression, but there's a good reason why. It's because she is basically unkillable if you play her correctly. I mean, don't get me wrong, she does need fundamentals. She's more of a fundamental character. That means you have to rely on your own movement, your own skill as a player to make her work. Because starting with her F2, which is you want to primarily use right now, basically, I think it's 8 seconds, somewhere around those seconds. When you use your F, it gives you a free dash, some heals, and a decent amount of shield, if I'm not mistaken, and it also negates light attack stagger for 8 seconds. And the cooldown for this skill is 24 seconds. So if you're in the state for 8 seconds, you're only just waiting for CD for 16 seconds. So that's like having a free CD reduction glyph, right? That's insane. So if you use this correctly, you will not be able to get chased, and you can just keep resetting with just your F skill. With just an F, you can keep resetting 16 second CD just keep surviving, keep coming back, keep third partying. You will never die if you do this correctly. It's insane. And that's one of her biggest, like, her, honestly, her F is her biggest reason why she's in this tier. Because of how much reset capability it gives her. It's just insane. And okay, moving on to her B1, is what you want to primarily use right now as well. It's a pretty decent ult actually. That it also just makes you harder to kill. Like, if you already have your F, her V basically gives you a mortal defiance, which means when you're in kill range, it will automatically, if you have your ult at 100%, it will automatically pop for you, and if you're at kill range, you won't die. It will make the enemy basically, you're gonna like explode, and like anybody near you will be like thrown away, so you can get a reset. And you can just, if you have your F up, just use your F and keep running, and you're unkillable. And let me mention you one more thing. If you are in that, like, if you do manage to get armor broken and you're getting chased, let's say you're like, you have no more armor, but you still have your HP, you can use your ultimate at 70%. Okay, what does this do? Okay, once you use your ult, you won't be able to take a Mortal Defiance hit anymore, right? But it gives you insane heals over time. So 70% every time you get a 70%. If you're about to die, you can either if you're in a situation where you can't run away, you can just wait for it to pop, right? If you have 100%, or if you think you can manage to run away with your F, you can just use your V at 70% as well, and it gives you insane heals, almost full HP. It's gonna heal almost full HP of your at least a purple armor. It's insane. It heals both your HP and your armor at the same time. And I need to stress how good it is because of the fact that it just does so much as well. Like, being able to use your ultimate at 70%, which means you're able to easily get your ultimate fast in every fight. That's crazy. She may not have any aggression, but she's just immortal basically. She's just unkillable, and that's in a BR game, wherein if you play your fundamentals correctly, and if you're this character where she's basically, as I said, unkillable, you can just win most of your fights just by baiting everybody's ultimate and keep coming back to those fights, and just you're able to survive until endgame, and you can just third party and yeah, stay alive forever, man. It's insane. Like, I was really surprised. Like, I did not think first time I saw her, I did not think that she would be meta, like this meta. But the moment I saw her skills, the moment I experienced people using this character in China servers, it's insane, man. And that's why I main her right now as well. Because of that fact that you are just unkillable, and yeah, it's just insane, man. But yeah, it's not like she's I would say, I mean, it's not like if you use her you'll be insane, right? As I said, she takes a lot of fundamentals. I would still say to get the highest, just because user doesn't mean you're gonna be like Asura, no. Like, I'm not saying user you're gonna be unkillable, just user, no. You still need the skill, the mechanics of your own to make her work. And what I mean is, when you use your F, people can still punish you, people can still read you. And it's up for you to be able to move around in a map by yourself, by your own mechanics to survive. So that's also going to depend on you and how good this character can be for you. Which is why I really like her right now. Because she's not like a best comparison is like, I know most of you guys know dagger. It's not like a dagger weapon where it's so easy to use, right? Like, as a comparison, she's not easy, but she's not the hardest as well, right? Like, I wouldn't say she's the hardest, but she's definitely not easy either. So she's basically like a katana where, depending on how good you are, man, that's just about it. anyways, that's my entire explanation. Really love a new character, and yeah, this is how it looks like for the season. I hope you guys enjoyed the tier list, and I will definitely be making more content for Naraka these few months at least. Tournaments are coming. I hope you guys support me, and yeah, I appreciate y'all, boys. I'll see you guys in the next time, and if you guys want to watch more Zipinion gameplay, check me out, Master Demon Senpai, Twitch TV. Yeah, love you, boys. GG's.